implement the perfect sales process, number one, you got to be committed. In anything you do, you got to have a deep commitment. You got to believe in you got to believe in your company, you got to believe in your abilities, that you're the right person, this is the right company, and you offer the right product or service. This is probably the next to commitment. This is probably the biggest thing we need to have an understanding of. Service is senior to selling. If you care more, you're going to sell more, and that's the bottom line. Is price is a myth. You know, we're always worried about our customers leaving our store, our showroom, or our office, taking our pricing information and going to the next store down the street or the next showroom down the street, and worried if they're going to play the pricing game between us. The reality is if we care more and we offer a higher level of service to our customers, we need not worry about our pricing. And we can actually ask more money for our product than the guy down the street. And we'll make that sale because they don't want to buy from the guy down the street. They don't want to drive 3 cities away to go make their purchase. They'd rather make it with you right now, right here. But if you're not offering a high level of service to that customer, you're not going to get that deal. And they are going to go down the street. The perfect sales process can be broken down into 6 easy steps. Number 1 is the greet. Number 2 is the qualify. Number 3 is the demonstrate of the product. Number 4, we got to make a proposal to that customer. And number 5, we got to close the offer. And then number 6 is we have to follow up. So the greeting, the goal of the greeting, it's quite simply, it's just to introduce ourselves. That's all we need to do. But so many of us fail to do this the right way. The studies have been shown that a customer is going to form an opinion of us within the first 5 seconds. And there's some studies that say it may even be a little shorter than that, 3 to 5 seconds. Just figure in 5 seconds, man, you got to put on a smiley face. You got to reach your hand out. Hey, thank you for showing up at our doorstep today, right? What information can I provide you with today? So we want to smile big and smile always. Okay, we want to shake hands firmly, not a weak handshake and not an overbearing handshake. The worst thing we've all experienced before, we go shaking, if you're a man, you've shaken another man's hand and it's just a limp, dead fish in your hand. And you're going, man, it kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies, right? Ooh, gosh, what's wrong with this guy, right? So we want just a nice, firm handshake. No matter what, keep in mind, they decided to show up at your doorstep. And you're the lucky one who gets to work with them. They could have gone somewhere else. So we got to be thankful and grateful that they're here in front of us. So qualify is the next step of our sales process. Okay, so with this can also be referred to as fact finding. And so this is not to be mistaken for financial qualifying of the customer. Right now is not the time to figure out what their budget is, how much they want to spend. Do they have the wherewithal to make that purchase? Right now, it needs to go back to a series of hard questions that we're going to ask our customer or our potential customer, the buyer, in order to determine what product or what service is going to be the right fit for them. So with building rapport, we don't want to stand around talking in hopes to make a buddy and build rapport. We're just wasting the client's time when we do that. We used to call it just standing over the tailgate of a truck, just shooting the breeze with the customer, just trying to find out how we can get an edge, how we can get a friendship built. But in today's world, as we've already discussed, this is a fast-moving society, and it gets faster every single day. The quicker we can get through this, the more likely in today's world, the more likely we're going to make the deal and we're going to make more money on the deal. Rapport building will come organically when you're moving through the sales process. And hey, if you can go through the whole sales process and they still buy the product, just figure you've built rapport because your rapport is having the product that they're after or having the service that they're looking for. You're there to match up the product or service to help you solve your customers' problems. So in sales, we've always heard that the person asking questions is always in control. The reality is the person who gets their questions answered is in control of the conversation. Okay. So we can ask questions thinking we're in control, but if we don't get the answer to that question, the consumer has control of the conversation. And they're just thinking, who is this guy? Is this guy Columbo? Is this guy, trying to solve the mystery of all time? We're just asking questions and asking questions and asking questions, but we're getting generic statements or generic answers to the questions we're asking. So these are when we're starting to ask questions, we need to ask hard questions and we need to make sure we're getting them answered. Qualifying, though, is not an interrogation, rather a normal conversation. You're not a crime scene detective. We're not investigating who done it. We're not trying to solve the greatest mystery of all time. It's not a murder scene, right? We're just happy they're there. We're just asking questions, but we're asking them in a way through the conversation that they're going to respond to us. And if they don't give us the answer we're looking for, we need to rephrase that question in a way that they will respond to it. Through this, it's really important to understand that people are creatures of habit and they will repeat the same actions over and over and over again. And so the best way to find out what the product or service that consumer is going to buy this next time is to find out what they bought last time and what they bought the time before that and why they bought it the time before that. If they've had a similar product or service in the past, we need to ask them, what did you like most about it? What did you not like about it? What would have made that last product or service a better fit? And why are you here now? Okay, so why here? Why now? And we need to get these questions. If they go, I don't know, we need to ask them, well, if you did know, what would it be? Right? And so we need to rephrase these questions and keep asking them with a smile on our face, but again, and not in an interrogation form, just as we're moving through to try to find the right product or service. If we're selling stoves or refrigerators, as we're walking down the line and looking at all these refrigerators or all these different stoves, we need to ask the customer these questions. Hey, what kind of refrigerator did you have in the past? Was it a 2-door? Was it a side-by-side door? Did it have an ice maker? Hey, did it have the digital readout? Well, what did you like about that refrigerator? What did you not like about it? If you had to buy, what are you going to look for in this next refrigerator that the last refrigerator wasn't doing for you? Maybe they're just buying a fridge because it went out, it died on them. But I guarantee you, in most cases, they're going to want to look for some kind of upgrade to that refrigerator too. So qualifying mistakes. And this right here, a lot of us, when we read these, we'll understand what we've been doing wrong in the past. Qualifying mistakes, not asking qualifying questions, not getting real answers to the questions that we're asking, not asking relevant questions that has to do with anything to the product or the service that we're selling, and not listening. So when we're asking questions, are we listening or actively listening to try to find the right solution for our customer? Or are we just nodding our head, yep, waiting for the customer to stop talking so we can continue talking to try to sell them the product or the service that we want to sell? And are we really digging in with these questions? Why is this important? We need to understand that digging in, it's like an onion. Remember the movie Shrek? Hey, ogres have layers. They're like an onion. You just got to keep peeling it back. It's the same thing with qualifying. So we show and demonstrate only what's important to the buyer. Okay. Even in automotive, we want to do these 7-point walkarounds on the cars. We want to start at the front right wheel. We want to walk around and show every single feature on the car to this customer. The reality is, in today's world, 90% of what we're showing the consumer, they have no interest in, and we're just wasting their time. So in the qualify, we want to ask those hard questions about what's important to that consumer. And then once we figure out what their hot buttons are, we want to demonstrate those items to them. If they're buying a spa, a hot tub, right? They want, let's say, maybe they're buying it for therapeutic purposes, okay? They're buying it not for comfort, not to have fun. They're buying it to relieve pain, right? Or if you go into the detail about the motor or the pump of the hot tub, they don't care about that. And then less likely they are to buy. Okay, so time is money, and you would not spend money. Nobody's going to spend money on the things they don't need. By demonstrating only what is important to your buyer's needs will result in increased value. Involve the customer in the demonstration. Have them touch it, hold it, have them push buttons, turn the knobs, incorporate as many senses as your product or service will allow. Demonstration must-dos. You got to bring the energy, okay? Yeah, you got to make the demo fun for your customer or fun for your buyer, okay? Think of the person at the state fair demonstrating the chamois or the mop, right? Or the kitchen appliance. There's a lot of energy going on, and there's a lot of people standing around. And so he's got his little earpiece on, right? He's up, hey, look at this Chop-O-Matic. It chops, and it does this and does this. And people were like, oh my gosh, I need one of those. It's only because he is excited about it. And so we need to bring that kind of excitement to anything that we're selling. So always, always, always demonstrate the product or the service you're selling as if it's twice the listed price. Grant calls this the double dollar present demonstration. And so if you're selling a $30,000 item, if you're selling an investment package the initial cost to the consumer is $20,000, we need to present that as if it's a $40,000 off package. The benefit to them, for them parting with their $20,000 or their $40,000 is going to be $40,000 or $80,000. And the next step here is we got to make the proposal. So Grant Cardone, he mystery shopped 1,000 people who shopped retail outfits. Only 37% were shown a pricing proposal. 63% never saw an offer. Wayne Gretzky said, the famous hockey player, said, I missed every shot I didn't take. And that's so true, right? If we don't put a proposal in front of every single customer who we engage with, if we don't get them to seeing the proposal, we're never going to close the deal. Okay, you can't close anything if a consumer doesn't know how much a product costs. They're never gonna buy it. You kill your chances of making a sale. If you got to be more aggressive on this one step than any other step in the six-step process. So present a proposal to everyone every time. The goal is to present a proposal to 100% of the people and do it within the first 30 to 40 minutes that we engage with our customer. So the moment we shake hands and greet our customer, we want to have the proposal in front of them within 30 to 40 minutes. Now we're going to close the offer, okay? So the first rule in selling and negotiating is to always agree. We got to agree with the customer. Not to be confused with the customer is always right. And that old adage of the customer is always right, in today's world, has been taken way out of context. We know the customer is not always right. In fact, in most cases, we know the customer is wrong. Hey, we do what we do, and we do it for a minimum of 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, okay? They're doing it every couple years, okay? We know they're not right, but we agree with them. Getting into an argument or a disagreement with a customer is a surefire way that you're not going to close the deal, okay? If you don't agree first, people will lock up on their offer. It's like their mind is made of wet concrete. And the minute you disagree with them, that concrete hardens, okay? And the close will then become a grind. 3 reasons why the buyer, prospect, or client isn't closing. Number 1, it's not the right product, or there's uncertainty about the product. Could be the right product. It could be, but there's something that we haven't uncovered yet. There's a question we haven't asked yet about that, and it's created some kind of uncertainty for the customer. So uncertainty about the company, or they don't like, or they have reservations about you, the salesperson. It's always going to be one of those three things. So follow up. Okay. This is what Grant says this, yay, yay, yay for the second Monday. So the follow up starts the minute you close the first sale. And so everyone wants to customize, protect, or add to their product. So this is where follow up really starts. Okay. So if you add, if you just sold a car, customize it with tint, wheels, or leather, right? Put a tow package on it. If you sold a spa, you got to get the little floaty table with the cup holders in the middle, so everybody's got a place to set their food and drinks on. If you just sold coaching, how about adding a digital course, right? To study in between the coaching sessions, maybe a private one-on-one session to where we can really dig in and help you. And don't forget the warranty, right? You just invested $25,000. Wouldn't you want to protect it? Because if you don't ask, you don't get.